great Wednesday. Um, this definitely was a one trade day if you were looking at DR. And so we'll just spend a few minutes talking about it. One thing I'll say up front is if you took this one trade, you could have like completed an Apex funded challenge and with this one trade, right? So that's how much it ran up. But I didn't get all that, so let's talk about what we did do. All right, so as always, we'll talk about what the DR range was. So 41.26 ish up to 41.43. So not quite 20, but again, a decent range. Let's notice a couple things. Right now, we talk about all the time. Look at 10 o'clock. Look what happens. Right, not saying this is a guarantee, but majority of the time, you're going to get some sort of price reversal around 10 o'clock. Might be 9:55, might be 10:05, might be 10:15, but somewhere in there, we're going to get a price reversal. Now, if you were, I was trying to like infuse some ICT things in here. If you were looking at this, if you notice here, we had a fair value gap form. Here's some opportunities that you could have taken the trade, but but there you'd have had to get out because you had this huge wick up. Then it came back down before it started moving up again. So if you were scalping, that would have been a really good scalp before DR even formed. So again, DR formed, let's say around 11:30ish. At DR high got taken, confirmed, and then waiting for price to retrace back inside of the DR or IDR. And again, here we had a nice confluence because we had this fair value gap here, right? And so the only trade I took today, right? So you notice that we kept going up, down, below the DR, below the IDR. So I actually had an order, right in here. I missed it on the IDR, but again, it's like a 0.25 difference. I actually put it on the DR and got picked up. We wicked around for a little bit here for the next about 20 minutes or so. And right around 10:30, we just kind of took off. Okay, so now my first order is always 5 points, right? So 5 points up, 5 points down, 1-to-1 risk to reward. Once we had all this movement here, I actually went ahead and moved my take profit up to 10 points, and slowly started to move my stop loss up, so I can make sure I don't end up losing anything here. Now, one thing I'll say is this buy side liquidity, and this was kind of that intraday buy side, was sitting there, and so I was a little skittish here because a lot of times when you go across any sort of liquidity, price tends to reverse a little bit. So when I looked at this and I said I had 10 points, the other thing for me is, this is right around lunchtime, and I actually was in the office today. Wednesdays are a rough day for me. Had a lot of meetings, vendors in town, that kind of thing. And so after I moved up to 10 points, I said, you know what, I'm just going to stop at 10, right? Because that's a good day's work. And so I would let myself let the take profit hit at 10 points. So we started out at like 41.44, and so right around 41.54, we got out of this trade. And I said it's probably gonna keep running, but I couldn't chase it, and I had again things to do. So, but you look what happened. This thing went all the way up, and you literally had a 30+ point trade off of that one DR move. So, like I said, if you're doing a funded challenge on Apex like 25,000, or you have to make 1,500, you would have made that if you're using ES. You would have made that today, on that one trade. So, just it's good to see the market move that way. Yesterday we didn't even have a DR trade because we never confirmed either direction, or we confirmed at 3:50 in the afternoon, which didn't make any sense to anybody, right? So this was a nice day to recover from that, and that's kind of why I always say, we don't have to trade every day. I let the market tell me when to trade. I just, yesterday I just looked at the market, right? So again, I come in once DR is structured, right, at 10:30, I just put my alerts on at the most time I do them at IDR. So I do IDR high, IDR low, put the alerts on, and let it tell me when to pay attention to the chart. It may be 5 minutes, it may be an hour, maybe 3 hours. But I let the market kind of guide, what I need to do there. So highly encourage you guys to do that as well. You're following DR. Set some alerts. Don't sit there and look at it all day, because you'll get frustrated and you want to start chasing, and you end up with a bad trade. So like I said, I don't even look at this until my alert goes off. If it doesn't confirm right away, I just let it do its thing. Okay, so that was the trade for today. Nothing, after that, nothing else really I was paying attention to. But again, great DR day compared to yesterday, and just a nice confluence, easy trade. If you look at even if you had like a 3-point stop, you'd have never even got close to it. Right? We never even thought about coming down here. And somebody had asked me, like, I said, well, DR confirm, looking for the retrace. And I said, okay, well, we got the retrace. And it was like, okay, yeah, we barely got a retrace. That's okay, right? What we're looking for is a retrace. Doesn't have to be 10 points down. Doesn't have to be, it just has to be a retrace, right? So this retrace, once this happens, I'm ready looking for my entry, right, on my ladder. Right now, the other thing I'll say, and then I'll shut this down, is my approach to how I trade DR is my approach. And I've said that before, but there's other ways to trade DR, right? So, you may have somebody that trades this before we even confirm, right? There's a whole community out there of DR traders that have their own style. There's even a DR Academy out there that teaches you how to look at time and price and all kind of stuff in relation to DR. I take the simple route, and I try to keep it simple because, I just don't have time to really focus on it that much. I just see when it hits my, for my strategy, when it hits a certain ladder, rung on the ladder for me, then I know I can take that trade, and one or two things are going to happen, right? Either I'm going to be successful with at least 5 points, or sometimes less, right? Or I'm going to get stopped out, and then I'm going to just go and, look for the next trade. So just to, I know some people are struggling with it a little bit, and they're like, it can't work. This can't be right. But again, I'll say, follow the rules, stick to the plan, stick to your program, stick to your strategy, and just let it play itself out. All right. Anyway, so again, hope everybody had a great day, and appreciate all the kind words you guys keep giving me. And I will talk to you guys later.